It's an absolute abomination to the judicial system. And it is irrelevant, and I mean this. This is irrelevant that Joe Magnanos is a police officer. Their coordinated actions, and I mean coordinated actions, are an attack on the foundation of the justice system and on the Constitution of everybody's right. And we are asking, the law enforcement community here is asking that the proper authorities investigate this wrongfully, and an ethics committee, judicial ethics committee, reviews that warrant also. It's an atrocity. Question.
What was actually wrong with the warrant?
What was that about?
I am not going to lay everything out, but if you read the warrant, and I will give you one hint. This is a manslaughter one charge, right? We all get that. What was the weapon that was used? Anybody?
The firearm.
Why was it left out? Why was it left out? That's where you need to start. For an investigator, start there. Because that will begin to answer a lot of the questions of why that warrant is not staffing in the narrative they're trying to sell.
I hope they do. I hope they do. Use firearms.
What did Officer Magnanos do? What was he charged with?
He was not that one.
Why was the charge left out? We all here, we're all aware, right? You all get it? Why was it left out? That is a question we need to ask ourselves and begin to investigate. We begin to see the factual inaccuracies of the warrant and the narrative they are trying to sell.
Wow. No, I'm what he just said.
He has our support. He believes that what he did was defended himself and the citizens and the other officers. It is a lot for a 23-year-old person, man, any person to take. He had this mantle responsibility thrust on his shoulders. And this is a very big with what Inspector Prescott is trying to do in this. It's a lot. Well, we get through it. He has our support.
Do you really feel that it was justified using deadly force? Do you feel there could have been other measures to subdue the assailant?
In this situation, because we change circumstances, we change the outcome. The outcome in the situation, unfortunately, is what we have. Can we look at it objectively later down the road, maybe come up with different solutions? In my heart, I hope so. I do.
Or his defense?
No, sir.
Or is it that longer member of the union?
The union does not get involved in criminal matters. Do you think you'll? And I'll say it again. You know what they did? What they're doing, and I mean every citizen, whether you're law enforcement or whether you're a private citizen, that warrant should scare you. They created a narrative that is so outside the probable cause. It is an affront to the judicial system and everybody out here. They should not be allowed to.
Do you think he's not going to get a fair trial?
I believe I have faith in the process. I have faith in due process. I have faith in people's purpose. I have faith in this working out the way it's supposed to. But there are forces that are moving this in a direction that are very, very difficult.
Who benefits? As far as if this is a political prosecution, who benefits?
The state of Connecticut. The state of Connecticut trying to redefine objectively reasonable standards. They want to move that threshold. They want to move it. For whatever reason, I don't know. They're looking to redefine it. If you read his investigation, page 34, there's a subparagraph where he says Graham v. Connor. That's something nice to look at. It's a federal case. Codified in law through the 14th Amendment. It comes into the 4th Amendment of the state. It's in our policy and procedure for use of force. You're telling But that's the narrative they're trying to show, to say that the federal standard of objective reasonableness does not apply to Officer Magnanos or any other person, any other common citizen. That standard will not be applied to. That's wrong. Any other questions?
Yeah, the timeline on when the officer came on duty, came on the scene.
Yes, sir.
Do you have the actual timeline when he came on duty and what led up to the shooting?
You mean he was there for a total of 34 seconds?
Yeah. Is that enough time to make that decision, that critical decision, in that 34 seconds when you have other officers on the scene?
In his situation, if someone's walking at you with a knife, how many seconds do you need to make a decision?
Okay, you have other officers. You have other resources to do that.
What resources?
You have Mace. Mace was never introduced.
So you're telling me if I'm walking at you with a knife right now, you're going to spray me?
I'll spray you first before I use deadly force.
You're going to end up dead.
Yeah, that's not necessary. Because I know Mace.
We would never, nor do we train like that. That is a ridiculous statement to say you're going to use OC spray on a lethal threat. That is irresponsible for you to say that.
So what's the purpose of having it if you don't use it?
Okay, we use it. It's the lowest tier, sir. Okay, of use of force.
Right.
With someone who's acting obnoxious, maybe a drunk person downtown,
Yes.
not somebody who presents a lethal threat,
Yes.
and is not listening to your command.
So why wasn't the officers on duty was using lethal threats? They was going through certain protocols to try to the victim.
I can't speak to their mindset, but those officers needlessly put themselves at risk. You saw, and I was seeing on the video, you saw Mr. Jones charge Officer Magnanos.
I don't consider that a charge. I consider him making advances, but it was not a charge.
Maybe you need to watch it again. It's
Yes.
a charge.
Well, considering mental health issues, and knowing there was a mental health problem there, when we tackle that situation,
Yep.
so it was a
Last question.
since it was a mental health issue, when you have to deal with it in a significant situation, then using
So when someone has a mental health issue, does the threat increase or decrease? Does it increase or decrease? Does the unpredictability of that moment increase or decrease?
Always know the answer to the question before you ask.
yeah, that's the situation. That's a
Okay, well, I'm telling you,
That's
I'm
a
going to
slippery
tell you
slope.
that you know as well as I do that because of the mental health issue, the threat and risk increase. You know that.
That's not always the case. That's not always the case.
You can have your opinion, sir.
Yeah.
When someone has a mental health crisis and they're coming at me with a knife, I don't think you have the same response if you two are in an alley by yourselves.
All right,
Next question.
So I'd like to ask about, was there any less than lethal force that wasn't used on the scene available to the officers?
All rest of the I feel bad for Jones. I feel awful that the judicial system is going to victimize them by putting after the trial. Because they believe that the judicial system is going to work. And that the warrant that they did is completely an abomination. They're going to re-victimize our community, and they're going to re-victimize the Jones family. And that's awful. Thank you.
Well, I still believe in my heart. Police.
I believe you. I appreciate you
And I
being
got
here.
passion for that. We got it.